fed for some head. Let's get in the car, I said. She grabbed my hand. Girls resting, met the bar, witness said. Tears fled the head, I'm waiting, I guess she tweet. I guess she confess, she thinking less, not drinking less. Bathroom says, best to get spontaneous. I stereotype, put to rest tonight. Imagine, believe, and achieve, it works. Skyline as I rise like fireworks. Smell through the bag, don't touch my perk.
Yo, hey everybody, and welcome to this edition of After the Storm, your OKC Thunder post-game show. Sorry I missed you guys the other night, but I was in Houston with my grandson, spending time with him, and of course he supersedes everything, okay? It's my guy. He's 11 years old, almost 12, 5'4". He is a monster, and, love him to death, and I spend time with him whenever I can. And plus, it was a blowout anyway, so it really didn't matter on Christmas, and I didn't think it was going to matter anyway. But anyway, the Thunder took care of. Wait, what's up, B? I don't know if Jokic got hurt tonight. I don't really watch Denver. I watch the Thunder, and then if I watch Denver if the Thunder aren't playing. But when we're watching a game, we're watching a game. I don't really watch it anywhere else. But anyway, Thunder took care of business tonight. Our 24th consecutive win over an Eastern Conference team, which is an NBA record. 24 straight wins. Remember, we only lost one time last year to the East. And so the Thunder took care of business tonight. They needed to. The Hawks were ridiculous, did not want to go away. We're knocking down threes like crazy. And when you're inside the facility and you're watching it, it's totally different than watching it on the TV. You can't really get the feel for what's happening in the game watching it on TV as you do being there in person. Let me see. Is Shea my MVP? Yes, he was my MVP, and I've said this before. He was my MVP 2 years ago. And he was Shaq's MVP. Like when they announced it, Shaq said, hey, I'm sorry, Jokic is nothing against you, but Shea should have won the MVP. I agree. But the problem is nobody saw SGA play. And he missed those games critical. Remember, he hit the game winner against New York, and we've said this, I've talked about this multiple times on the show. He made the game winner against the Knicks. He did not play against Philly. He did not play against the Indiana Pacers, and he did not play against the Celtics. All three of those games were on ESPN, and he missed them all. And I think had he played in those games, and everybody got to see him play who had not seen him play all year, I think he would have been the MVP. He was my MVP. He was Shaq's MVP. He was Stephen A. Smith's MVP. He was a lot of guys whose MVPs because you're just watching it, but everybody is, oh, Jokic this, Jokic that. And I go back to it. Jokic should not have won his first MVP. That should have been to Giannis. But, of course, Giannis was not going to win 3 in a row. They've stopped that. His second MVP that he won in a row, that should have went to Embiid. The third MVP that he should have won in a row, that one should have went to Jokic, but they gave it to Embiid because I believe Embiid should have won it the year before, not Jokic. I don't think Jokic should. To me, Jokic should have one MVP, and that was the year that he beat his third. When the year that he did not win it, his third year, he should have been the MVP that year. The next year, that should have gone to Shea. Last year should have gone to Shea, and I think this year should go to Shea. That's kind of how I break it down. Let me see. Jokic's knee bent backwards against Miami. I have not seen the video yet, so I don't know. I went to the game, and then I get here. I try to do all the stats and get everything ready for the show. So I don't know what's happening. But, Shea was already winning. He was already leading MVP candidate at this point. So I don't know what you mean by that. He was already leading candidate to win the MVP this year. You still had your guys who wanted to vote for Jokic, but SGA was the leading was the leading vote getter for or leading candidate for the MVP this year. So I still think, to me, Jokic is the best player. Okay? But that doesn't mean the best player should get the MVP. I mean, if you go by that, LeBron should have had 10, Jordan should have had 12, Larry Bird should have had, whatever. You can't go by that. You could be the best player. It's just that year. It's just like Michael Jordan and the deal. He was talking about how they gave the MVP to Charles. Okay, well, let me show you about that. And he goes out and dominates. And if you ask any of them, would they rather have the MVP or the chip? They'll tell you, I want the chip. I want the ring. I don't care about the MVP. That's nice. But people forget who the MVPs are, but they don't necessarily forget who wins the championship. So that's kind of how that's laid out. So anyway, the Thunder could not get rid of the The Hawks tonight, the Hawks were ridiculous. Uh, they made 14 3-pointers in the first half. They only made 12 2-pointers. That's how great they were shooting. But, of course, that's how they stayed in the game. They were knocking down shots left and right. 14 for 31 in the first half from three. 14 of 31 from three in the first half. That's why they were winning the game. That's why the score was 74-70 them, because they were knocking down shots. And we weren't playing that bad. They were just knocking down shots. A lot of them were contested. A few were open, but remember, we lead the league in contested three-point shots. They were just knocking them down. And it just happens. That's why basketball is the one sport, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Basketball is the one sport where, size doesn't matter. If a team gets hot from three, you look at in March Madness, anybody can beat anybody, because if you get hot from three, that's the difference maker. Okay, that's the difference maker. In football, the best team wins most of the time because it's hard to beat a team because it's so physical. Let me see. Jokic is the best fundamental basketball player offensively, but I don't believe he's overall best player in the league. I find Jokic's defense kind of lazy. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, but I'm just saying he's the best, most skilled player, so he's the best player. But SGA is chasing him or getting there, okay? But SGA plays on a better team, 100%. But that being said, they were a minus with SGA on the bench, and they're a plus with everybody else on the bench except him. So when he's on the floor, they're a plus. When he's off the floor, they're a minus. Now, it's not as bad as Jokic is. When Jokic is off the floor, it's like minus 20 or some stupid, ridiculous number. But when SGA is not on the court, it's the same thing. It's not there. The Thunder are not a plus team with him on the bench. So that being said, let's take a look at the the stats tonight. Final score 141-29. The Thunder are now 28-5. The Hawks are 15-19. The Hawks were 25 of 54. So remember what I said. They were 14 of 31 in the first half. 14 of 31. So they ended up being 11 of 21 the second half. That's just crazy shooting, dude. That's crazy shooting. That's crazy shooting. It really is. 11 of 22 or 23 the second half. And they were 14 of 31 the first half. That's just ridiculous. I mean, they just, like I said, they weren't, 46% from three. They were just knocking them down. There's nothing you could do. We were playing great defense. They were just knocking them down, and that kind of happens. We were 12 for 32. We shot 54%. They shot 47, and it's just crazy. We out-rebounded it by 11, and then Pips points in the paint. The Thunder did that 70-36, and, of course, when they're knocking down threes, why the hell are they trying to score inside? They're not. They're knocking down threes. Turnovers, 16-14. That's another reason why the game was so close, us turning the ball over 14 times. And we have a tendency to turn the ball over a lot more than we normally do. The last couple of years, this year, we're turning the ball over a lot more than we normally do. It's just that's kind of a weird stat to me that we're turning the ball over so much this year. Okay, here's the box score for tonight. SGA, 36 minutes, 39 points. It's just his efficiency is insane. It's like KD. Their efficiency is just off the charts. Chet tonight, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 3 blocks tonight. Great job by Chet. I thought 4 offensive rebounds. He had a couple big ones there in the game tonight. Like I said, SJ 15 for 24. He had 39 for a while. He just could not make. I think he missed his last 3 shots. So he was 15 of 21 and then missed his last 3 shots. So he just could not. He wanted to score 40, but he did not quite get there tonight. 2 for 5 from 3, 7 of 7 from the line. 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. Good night for him, I thought. 3 turnovers. He's got to take care of basketball. Lou Dort, 23 minutes, 6 points, 1 for 7 from 3. Bro, quit shooting the ball. If it's not going in, quit shooting. He's just not. He's going to get his shots up, and he's just trying to do more. But when you leave Oklahoma City, bro, all this stuff you're doing now, the shots, hey, that's all coming to an end, and you know that. That's all coming. No other coach is going to let you shoot the ball that much. If OKC can win 18 games in a row, 3 3 times this season they will have the best record ever. 18 games is a lot. I think we won 15 this year. 18 is a lot. That's a lot of wins. I need to go back. We won more than that. Maybe we won 18, 17, 18 in a row. That's hard to do more than once or twice in a season. J-Dub, 20 minutes and 33 minutes, 20 points, 8 for 17. Did good night for him shooting. 0 for 1 for 3, 4 for 5 on the line, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. The 3 turnovers. So between SGA and J-Dub, that was 6 of our 14 turnovers between our 2 players. 8 rebounds. Let me see how many rebounds he had. 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. And then Kaysen is just, I don't know if you hear about this, but the guy's pretty good defensively. He doesn't make us miss Dort as much, especially when you got Caruso. You can really keep Dort on the bench. I do like Caruso in the game at the end. That's what. Well, 16. I can't remember which one it is. I have it on my. Let me see. I have it on my thing here. I can tell you how many we won in a row. Let me see. Where is it? Okay. Before we lost. Okay, we won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, what is that? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, we won 16 in a row. You're right. 16 in a row is what we won. So before we got beat, which is not a bad deal at all. Brandon Kaysen, 17 points, 6 for 8, 5 for 6 from 3, playing against his brother. That's always a good deal when you play against your brother because J-Dub was going against Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who, by the way, was represented by Rayford Young, Trey's dad, which I thought was great. When Ray told us that, congratulations to him getting that thing done. And Nickeil is playing really, really well. Proud of him and what he's doing. And it's nice when you go against your brother and you can talk trash. Now, I've got a lot of guys who weren't my brothers, but they were my brothers. You know what I'm saying? They were my boys. And when you're playing against them, you just go at them hard. Brandon Carlson played pretty decent tonight without no iHeart, no Jay Will tonight. Brandon gave us some good minutes. I thought he played pretty good tonight. I'm not going to kill him. 0 for 1 from 3, which is what he's good at. You got to be able to do the thing that you're good at, Brandon. But I like what he did tonight. Caruso, 24 minutes, 16 points, knocking down threes. If he'd have shot threes like that against the Spurs, we don't lose. But, you know, it's basketball, and that's what happens. You're streaky, and it is what it is. K-Rich, like only 5 minutes tonight, like what I'm doing, seeing from him. Isaiah Joe, 10 minutes, 0 points. If he's not knocking down threes, he can't be on the court. I like him, but he can't play defense. Wiggins, 11 minutes. His minutes are getting cut tonight, you know, and a lot of it's going to A.J. Mitchell, and I get it because he doesn't handle the ball. But if he just shoots the basketball and quit trying to score and do all this other stuff, I think it would be nice if he could do that. Brandon would be better if he would stay in the post and defend. He can't really score in the post. He's not strong enough. But he did get a couple dunks tonight. But his forte is stretching the floor and knocking down threes, which is what he did last year. He won a couple of games from us knocking down threes last year, which is what I want him doing again. But Wiggins, only 11 minutes. You can just see his frustration on the bench, him not playing as much as he thinks he should. But, you know, you're 1 for 5, 0 for 1. Knock down threes. If you're just knocking down threes, and I say this again, quit trying to do too much. Dort, quit trying to do too much. Understand, if you're not hot, hey, pass the ball. Don't keep trying to shoot. 1 for 7 for 3. Dort 1 for 7, him 0 for 1. Dude, you got to knock down shots. You have to knock down shots. A.J. Mitchell, 10 points, 3 for 8, 0 for 3. And I've said this again. He's got to work on his three-point shooting, and that needs to be next year, not necessarily this year. But next year he needs to do that. The next Thunder games, here they are right here. We took care of the Hawks tonight for our second win in a row. We got the Blazers on New Year's Eve, which they play us really, really tough. That's not going to be that easy of a W getting past the Blazers. I can promise you that. That's going to be a good game. But we still should handle our business in that game. Then we go at the Hawks. Why is that doing that? Okay. We go at the Hawks. We go. We have at the Hawks. We have. Excuse me. At the Warriors. I'm sorry. My bad. At the Suns, and then we have the Hornets and the Jazz next Monday. So by all means, we should beat the Warriors. I'm thinking we should, even though the Suns have won 4 straight, we should still beat them because we're better than them. But we are going to Phoenix, so that ought to be interesting. But you got the Warriors, you got the Suns, then you have the Hornets at home and the Jazz at home on back-to-back nights. The Grizzlies, the Heat, the Spurs, and the Rockets. So you got 2 tough games January right there in the middle of the year. You have the Spurs and the Rockets, huge games. The Grizzlies aren't a walkover either. So that should be it. 9-0, is that what we should do? Oh, that's funny. But anyway, that's where I look at it. But, you need to handle your business, game by game. We have the next game up. It's the Blazers. Let's handle our business. Finish them off. Our only loss was, remember, to them at the beginning of the year. We beat them solidly the last time we played them. We need to handle our business against the Blazers. Then you have the Warriors and the Suns on back-to-back nights. And what's crazy, guys, this is our 3rd back-to-back in 11 days. I don't know what – we're getting all our back-to-backs out of the way early in the year. We've played so many back-to-backs this year. Fortunately, they're not the best teams in the world that we're playing back-to-back. But still, we're playing all these back-to-backs. And I'm like, can we get some stretch out here? But I'm sure we will. At some point, we're going to get, where it spreads out. But it's just kind of crazy that we're playing so many back-to-back games right now. I'm going, I don't really get it. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. And, all you got to do is handle whatever the schedule is in front of you. And I know that we do have a nice little stretch in there where we get some rest. And then at the end of the year, our stuff is spread out. So we're getting rid of all of our back-to-backs early in the year, which is good. And they're not against, it's against the Spurs and then the Rockets back-to-back. Remember, we had to play the Spurs back-to-back after losing and coming back, and we switched off. What did we play? What was it? We were supposed to play somebody. I forget who we played right before the Spurs, and we lost them in San Antonio. Was it the Clippers? It was. I forget exactly who it was. I have to go back and look now. But you have to handle whatever's in front of you. But we need to win the games that are in front of us. We need to handle our business against the East because really, us losing 1 game against the East last year, and we played terrible against the Cavaliers last year in Cleveland. They came back and beat the brakes off them here in Oklahoma City. And I've said this all along. When we're knocking down threes, nobody's beating us. Was it the Timberwolves? Okay, I'm glad you told me. I couldn't remember who it was. But anyway, nobody's going to beat us. They're just not from the East. If we're knocking down threes, anybody from the West, I mean, when you go back, if Alex Caruso was making threes tonight instead of what he did against the Spurs, we beat the Spurs. But the Spurs still handled their business. They did what they needed to do. They did not run away, but everything I say goes to back the first game this year against them. Up 16, 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Chet goes, twists his ankle. Instead of us blowing them out, and the Spurs and us would be over. Instead, they have confidence in believing that they can beat us. Because guess what? They are 3-0 against the Thunder this year. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back, and then we'll talk about who we have coming up next. Then we'll talk about the standings, which is what we're going to discuss next up, coming up in an hour. SRB, if you have needs for engineering, surveying, or planning, hit our guys up over there. They love to take care of you and make sure everything is running smoothly for you. Oak Grove Trucking, if you have needs for dirt, rock, or sand to be moved, those dudes and my guy Jose Fierro is the guy to talk to. YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. The equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC, proud sponsor for us to go out and support minority, black, and women-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City, the OKC area. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, you can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go into one of their 5 locations, the main bank at 401 M, 66 steps from historic downtown Yukon, Oklahoma, or 66 steps from historic US 66. YNB East, which is off the Parkway and 39th Expressway, or US 66. YB Mustang, 218 North Mustang Road. YB Parkway, located on Garth Brooks and I-40, just south of I-40, right there in front of Garth Brooks, right there in front of the Fairfield Hotel, not the Fairmont, and then right in front of the hospital as well. YB Peoples, located in Bethany on 23rd between Rockwell and MacArthur in the great city of Bethany. Creed, the House of Creed, handcrafted since 1760. Guys, once again, if you haven't tried it, go try it. Go try it. I promise you, you'll love it. This stuff is so good. I ended up giving my grandson some. My daughter-in-law already wears it, and I forget which one she wears, but she automatically wears it, and she already wears it, and she loves it. And I just found out they have some soaps and stuff, so I need to get her some soap and some other stuff, because this women's stuff I don't need to smell good when I take a shower. I guess it's not bad. I use the shower gel. I'm more of a soap bar soap guy than a shower gel guy. That's just me. But everybody does what they do. They always say, Matt, remember, pick the best for your best, and I do. So if you got a girl, man, I'm telling you, the stuff smells good. It's worth it. I promise you, it is worth it. Go and check it out if you're in the Oklahoma City area. The Penn Square Mall, the East Dillard's location is the men's, the West is the women's. I promise you, it's worth it. Woodland Hills Mall in Tulsa, which we'll be back. I think we're going there this week. I think we're going back this week to the Tulsa location. I really like that place, and it is fantastic. And then the Town East Mall in Wichita, which we have not been to yet, but we will at some point soon. And here are the other locations that you can go to. When I look at, the Thunder, and what did you say? I don't see nobody beating us, not even the Spurs, because the next two are drive against Wemby and also pull him out on the perimeter. Wemby's a hell of a player. He just is. But, should we beat them? Yes. Should we handle our business? Yes. And, but, you got to knock down shots. And we did knock down threes. Killed us. And they did. But like I said, they have confidence now. That 2-minute mark where SGA didn't touch the ball one time, that's his coach. He doesn't get. He wants everybody to have all this. Oh, we got to build everybody up. Look, just do what you do. Hey, put the ball in SGA's hands. He's going to give you the ball, and he's going to let you do what you do and make it easy for you to score. That's it. It's not rocket science here. It's really not. Here are the standings for the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. The Thunder are up by 4.5 on the Spurs, and look, they have lost 2 in a row. And we're not getting trolled by Spurs fans tonight, so, whatever. I thought that's interesting. They've lost 2 in a row, and they're 4.5 games back, but they're still sitting there at 23-9. The Nuggets are 22-10, losers of 2 in a row as well. And we all have gone. They've all have gone through that. W2. We've won 2 in a row. We lost 2 in a row. Now the Spurs have lost 2 in a row again. The Nuggets have lost 2 in a row. The Rockets are winning 3 in a row. They had lost 5 straight up until this 3-game winning streak, which my grandson is a huge Rockets fan. I got him some custom Rocket stuff, so he's all about it. And he got some custom Jordan 11s that he will love, that he can wear with his outfit. So when he goes back to his little school, he'll love that. The Lakers 20-10, also 6.5 games back, winners of 1. The T-Wolves, 21-12, they're still struggling. But, I just look at 2 through 5. And if you had to start, if the playoffs started right now, we'd go against the Warriors, which I think we'd handle. The Spurs would go against the Suns, which they should handle, even though the Suns have won 4 in a row. I don't think they can beat them. The Nuggets would have the tough game against the T-Wolves, which I'm not upset about them getting the hell beat out of them. And then the Rockets and the Lakers would play each other, and then the Spurs and the Nuggets would lock up. And I think that would be a barn burner. I think they'd beat the hell out of each other. I think that I'd rather play the Lakers than the Rockets, but I don't see how the Rockets can lose to the Lakers in 4 games. I don't see the Lakers beating anybody in 4. They're talking about giving Austin Reeves, who I like, all this money, the max and stuff. I'm like, for what? He can't play defense. He's one-way guy. You got to have some defense. You can't have 3 guys out there who can't play defense. Luka can't play, LeBron can't play, and Austin can't play defense. You got 3 guys who can't play defense. And you're going to pay this guy a bunch of money and he can only score. Well, that's fine, but he's got to be able to stop somebody. So I don't get that. I really don't. And yes, the Nuggets could beat the Spurs. I agree with that, because it's about matchups. It's about matchups. I don't care what sport it is. We've talked about this before. It's about who you're matching up with, who you're matching up against. That's what it's always been about. That's what it always will be about in every sport. There's teams that you match up with, and there's teams that you don't. And the Thunder struggle against the Spurs. We struggle against the Rockets. But we don't struggle against the Nuggets, and we don't struggle against the Lakers. With those Spurs and Nuggets, and we don't, because this is it. I tell people, the Nuggets don't really match up with us. And everybody talks about it took us 7. You gave them game 1. You don't give them game 1, you beat them in 5. You beat them in 5 if you don't give them game 1. If you don't give them game 1 against the Pacers, you beat them in 5. You give away game 1. So now you got to go win a game bring it back to the home, and then you have the home court, which is why you have home court advantage, so you can have games 5 and 7 at the house. And you look at the East, the Knicks are slowly creeping up on the Pistons. The Pistons losers of the last 2, Knicks winners of 3, and they're slowly creeping up on them. They're slowly creeping up on the East, trying to get there. The Knicks, they've got a coach now who's not going to run them ragged, play them so much where they're so exhausted. And that's going to make a huge difference to them later on down the road. And they just is. They just are. And Mike Brown's a good coach, and he's there, and he's got some players. He's got a big, and he's got a guard. You got to have a point guard, and you got to have a big. And they have that. Then you got great support players, and Mikal Bridges, and he does a great job. And then of course Josh Hart, who once again was with the Lakers when they won the chip with Kendall Pope. With Kendall, what did they have? They had Caldwell Pope. They had Caruso. They had Josh Hart, and they had Anthony Davis, and LeBron wanted he wanted Westbrook, and he wanted Carmelo, and he put that team aside so he could get those two. I just still don't, I don't get that. I still to this day. Kendrick is a huge reason we will beat the Lakers. He is a Laker killer. Yes, he is. I love Kendrick against them. Damn, Bulls are 15 and 17. Yes, Bulls are 15 and 17. Josh Giddey's got them playing over there. They're not bad. But at the top of the order, the Celtics losers of 1, and this is the crazy part about the Celtics. Jaylen Brown is getting ready to pass Larry Bird for the most consecutive 30-point games in a row. He's at 8. I believe Bird's had 9, or the record is going to be broken at 9, which is crazy. Or his 9 are going to break at 10, whichever one it was. I'm not a Celtics fan. I don't really care that much. But Larry Bird was a great, great, great player. And I don't want to care about he's white. That means, at the barbershop, oh, he's white, man. Y'all need to stop that. He could play. He's in America. He could go. He was not white to me. He was just a hell of a player. The Raptors still are serious. There's somebody to really watch out for. They really, really, really are. 20 and 14, winners of the last 2. They're sticking right in there. They've got a good coach. They're doing what they needed to do. Brandon Ingram is playing great. They're right there. The Magic is a team that's kind of weird to me. I don't know really they haven't figured it out yet. They can't get Caro and Franz Wagner to be healthy all at one time. They've got to figure that out. They really, 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 truly do. And once they do, they're going to be a handful in the playoffs. I believe they're going to be a tough out for whomever they play. And right now it would be them against the Raptors. And in a 7-game series, I'm going to take the Raptors because you have the Pistons against the Cavs. I think the Pistons would beat the Cavs, especially since their coach used to be the coach of the Cavs. Then you got the Knicks against the Sixers. I think that they'll handle it. I don't think Embiid is going to play long enough to do anything with that. The Celtics against the Heat. Celtics will handle the business there. And then it would come down between the Knicks and the Celtics and the Pistons and the Raptors, or Pistons and Magic, actually. That would be great. Say, bro, what is valuable to me? I don't. What do you mean? What you mean? Who do I think valuable as far as players are concerned? Is that what you're asking me? What do I think the most valuable player is? Is that what you're asking? This is my thing. The most valuable player is whoever is means the most to his team at that particular point as far as winning. Like when Jokic when he had 5 or 6 wins, they had 5th or 6th place. No. When Westbrook won it, we were 5th or 6th. No, you're not the most valuable player. And nobody says Russell Westbrook was the most valuable player that year. What he was doing something historic, was the first player since Oscar Robertson to have a triple-double for the season, which the Thunder aided him in getting. Okay? So to me, I think that Jokic is is the best player, but SGA is the most valuable player, hence because what the Thunder are doing, him not playing, 15 fourth quarters out of 20, how many, what are we, 28 and 5, 33 games? Like half the games he hadn't played the fourth quarter. That's what it is. He's efficient. He's averaging 30. He's shooting 50% from the field. He's shooting 40% in the line, and 40% from three, and almost 50% or 90% from the line. That's valuable. Okay, kind of what Steph Curry did. Jokic is just the best player, but I can't give you the MVP. Westbrook saved the Thunder. He did not save the MVP, the league. He saved the Thunder that year. That's what he did. He didn't save the NBA. That's ridiculous. Bro, Nuggets is a lottery team without Jokic. I agree with what you're saying, but I'm saying Jokic is the best player. I'm saying that. I'm just saying he's not the most valuable player, because the most valuable player, his team wins. Because you can't be the most valuable player if your team is winning. That's what I'm saying about Westbrook. He won it the Thunder were 5th or 6th or 7th in the league, and he won the MVP. No, he had triple-double. That's why he won it. Jokic, you can't be 5th or 6th in the league. No, that was the year it should have went to Embiid. And I've said this before. You have to be the most valuable player is a part of winning. You can't be the most valuable player to me if your team is 5th or 6th. You're scoring a bunch of points and doing things, but your team is not winning. When the most valuable player is about what does your play constitute W's for your team? That's the most valuable player. Does that make sense to you? That's what I'm saying. But the Nuggets, I agree with that. And I just said that earlier, and I don't know if you heard me earlier in the show. I was saying that SGA on the bench, the Thunder are a minus team. Jokic on the bench, they're a ridiculous minus on the team. That's what I'm saying, okay? So that's why I'm saying, to me, the most valuable player is the player who is helping his team win with the best record. You're not the most valuable player if your team is 6th or 7th. How the hell are you the best player, the most valuable player? No. Your most valuable means you are helping your team get W's. And that's from a player's perspective, not a fan's perspective, not a media perspective. And that's how most players look at it. Everybody agrees that Jokic is the best player. That's not even up for debate to me. And SGA, I'm with SGA guy. I don't think that SGA is the best player. Is he catching Jokic? Yes, but the best player is Jokic. That's how I look at that. I don't even think that. It's 5 games so far to you. I will say this. I think that Jokic and SGA are 1-2. Okay. Somebody asked me one day if Jokic was on the Thunder and SGA was on the Nuggets, what would happen? I go, basically almost the same thing, but not quite, because the Nuggets don't have the bench or the depth and bench that the Thunder have. The Thunder have more players than the Nuggets do. Okay? I'm not debating that at all. That's why I said Jokic is the best player. But to me, as a player, you can't be the MVP if your team is 5th or 6th in the league. That's just mean you're putting up a bunch of numbers. That's all that says to me. That doesn't mean you're the most valuable player because your team ain't winning. The most valuable player's team always is only one of the top 2 teams. Always. You have to be one of the top 2 or 3 teams. You got to be in the league to be the most valuable player. To me, that's just, if you're not, I'm not giving you that because you put up a bunch of ridiculous numbers because your team was okay. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't compute for me at all. And that's why I look at Wemby. Wemby is going to be a ridiculous guy down the street. He's going to catch everybody. He's going to pass Jokic. He's going to pass. He is ridiculous because he's playing on both ends of the floor. He's scoring and he's intimidating on defense, blocking shots, and doing what he needs to do there. So those are my qualifications, if that makes any sense to you. Let me see. But their win is not too far. No, not right now. But what I'm saying is you can't be 5th or 6th, which is the year that he won it. Like I said before, the first year Jokic won it, that one should have went to Giannis. That should have been Giannis' 3rd year in a row. He was far and above the best player. His team was winning. That was crazy. The second year that he won it, that one should have went to Embiid because he had the Sixers rolling. That should have went to Embiid. I thought that was ridiculous. The third year that he should have won it, 3rd year in a row, they gave that to Embiid. I thought that was a farce. That one should have went to Jokic. And then the next year he won it. That one should have went to SGA. Last year should have went to SGA. That's how I break it down. Jokic should have one. He should have one. Okay, to me. He should not have as many as he has. I think that's ridiculous. He should not have those. He should not have gotten that first one. But they don't give the MVP 3 years in a row. That hasn't happened since Larry Bird. Why? It's ridiculous. Larry Bird shouldn't have won it that 1 year. I believe that should have went to Magic, but went to Bird, and then they stopped that since. But Jokic should not have won his first MVP. That one should have went to 3 years in a row. Should have went to Giannis, but they don't believe in that. His third one that he should have won 3 years in a row, that went to Embiid, which was a farce. That one should have went to Jokic. The year before that one should have went to Embiid. So that's how I break it down. Their win total is not too far off. I agree it's not, and that's what I'm saying. But head-to-head, this is how I look at it as well. And this is my final breakdown of it. How did they do head-to-head? SGA clearly played better than Jokic did in the three, and they beat Denver 3 times. So to me, that ends out like, cause if it's a close race, what y'all do against each other head to head? Now they're not playing head to head because one's a big, one's a guard. Okay, so and then when you go to the playoffs, Jokic was dominant, but so was SGA. And in Game 7, let's face it, Caruso locked up Jokic. Let's face it. I did not see that coming, but Jokic got locked up by Caruso. He did. Now, I believe Jokic being the smart player he is, that happens again, Caruso's not going to be able to guard Jokic again. That's not happening. He's like, oh, yeah, you're not doing that to me again. I just think it caught him off guard. He didn't really know what to do. Thinks he was getting away with it. Caruso being handsy. I think that screwed Jokic up. I really, truly do. Let me see. I think Jokic is the MVP because their wins are too far, and Jokic has greater stats. That's what I just said. Jokic, the MVP, you're saying Jokic's stats are crazy. I'm agreeing with that. His stats are crazy. That doesn't make you the most valuable player. That's all I'm saying. I get what you're saying, but you have to win games as well. You have to be one of the top 2 or 3 teams as well. Yeah, let's face it, Westbrook won it strictly on triple-doubles. Nobody thought he was the best player in the league. Nobody thought he's the best player. Nobody thought that. They still don't. But that year, he was the most valuable player because he did a triple-double, and that's because Oklahoma City aided him in getting rebounds. But to me, he was not the best player of the MVP. No, but I get why they did it. Okay, I did not like what they did to Giannis, his third MVP in a row. That one should have went to him. He was crazy dominant. His numbers were ridiculous, but they didn't want to give it to a guy 3 years in a row because Larry Bird had got 3 years in a row. Okay, you go back and look at it. Look at the numbers. It's not even close. That next year, Embiid's numbers were ridiculous, and Jokic won for his second in a row. He should not have had either one of those. The third year would have been his third year in a row. They gave it to Embiid. Embiid deserved it the year before. Not that year. Jokic was 100% the best player. He should have won MVP there, hands down. But if you're not going to give it to Giannis after 3 years, you damn sure can't give it to Jokic after 3 years. And that's, to me, what happened. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It's kind of like when Steve Nash won his second MVP in a row over Kobe. What the hell are you talking? What are you looking at? How the hell is that? What are you talking about? But that's the media. It's bullshit. It really, truly is. Now, like I said, Jokic is the best player in the league. SGA is right there. But to me, Jokic is the best player in the league. But it's not. Shea is cutting the gap. But you can't give Jokic the MVP when SGA is putting up the numbers he got. And remember this. The only player to average 30, shoot 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and 90% of the line was Steph Curry. He won a unanimous MVP. So if SGA they have the best record in the league, he averages 30 points, shoots 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and 90% from the line, there's no way in hell you can't give it to him because you did the same thing with the exact same numbers to Steph Curry. So you already set the bar on what you think it is. And I agree. Oklahoma City is the Nuggets are not far behind Oklahoma City. I agree with that, what you're saying, 100%. You got zero argument from me. But what Oklahoma City is doing with SGA not playing fourth quarter, all that's saying to me is Jokic is a more valuable player to them, but SGA, after 3 quarters, he's already done what he needed to do. He don't need to play no more because he's aided his team into being that dominant, but he has more players around him. That's a fact. Well, let me see. When Hartenstein and Chet were on Jokic, he was giving us fits, but when J. Will got locked on him, no, it was Caruso. It was J. Will kind of, but Caruso has made the difference. Caruso made the difference. Caruso was icing on the cake. I agree with that. Jay Will did slow him down as much as he could the entire deal because he's a lot more agile than iHeart is, and he's not as more physical, but they're both just as physical. Chet is not even remotely able to handle Jokic at all. At all. That's why they were talking about a kid from North Carolina. Why the hell would you want to get him? You got one skinny dude. You want to get you another one? You need some weight. You need somebody to get some weight. Talking about in the draft this year. So. Anyway, hope everybody's having a good day. I'm done for the day. I'm going to go, and it's cold as a mother. I hate cold. I don't know how y'all feel. I told somebody the other day, I'd much rather be hot than cold. I'd rather sweat than be sitting there free. I'd much rather sweat than be cold. Anytime. I hate freaking being cold. I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. So, and we live in an older home that was built 101 years ago. It gets a little nippy. It gets a little nippy. That being said, the Thunder winners of 2 in a row. We've got the Blazers are coming up, which we need to put them away on Wednesday. It's going to be a tougher game than everybody thinks, but we should put them up. I don't think get your girlfriend and just cuddle. She is not in Oklahoma City, bro. So I wish she'll be here Thursday. So I'll see her Wednesday. She'll be here Wednesday night. So I'll get to see her Wednesday night. So I'll be happy about that. That being said, peace out. Thunder up, 2025 world champions. Let's go. See you guys. I will not be on Wednesday night after New Year's Eve. I'm not going to be on the air. I'm going to be drunk. So just letting you know. I'm going to be drinking and enjoying my New Year's Eve. So we'll do a report whenever on Friday or something. But I will not be doing that. But I'm going to go out and I'm going to get my drink on. But yeah. So that being said, AB, peace out. Thank you guys for coming on, tuning in.